What's up, guys? We're out here on another adventure finally. I guess I should tell you where here is. So I'm in the Cumberland Gap National Historic Park. If you saw my last video, I mentioned I was coming out here. I did a little bit of a gear overview of what I'm carrying in my pack right now. But yeah, it's a new area for me. I've never been here. Had to change things up already. Couldn't find where I wanted to start. But I parked a little ways down the road there. And we're on a trail called Sugar Run Creek Trail, which in about 2 miles should take us to a trail called Ridge Trail, which from my understanding runs along the ridge of the mountains and should give us some good views. So looking forward to it. Let the adventure begin. So right here is a good example of why this area is called the Cumberland Gap National Historic Park. It's an area of quite a bit of historic significance. You'll find signs like this around, which is kind of cool. It's just kind of cool. This area, not only is it supposed to be pretty beautiful once you get out in it and hiking, it's also got quite a bit of history behind it. So, I don't know, just to add a little bonus, I guess. But I'm going to continue down this Sugar Camp Creek Trail. I'm only probably not even a quarter mile from where I last talked to you. So I don't think things are going to get real interesting probably until we get on the Ridge Trail. So may not be a lot of updates until then. Well, if this place has nothing else going for it, I gotta say the woods around here are really quite beautiful. And the trails around here are really well worn in. Seem to be really quite nicely maintained. So far the hiking's really easy. I'm kind of expecting there to be some uphill at some point though, because like I said, our goal is to get to Ridge Trail, and from my understanding anyway, that goes along the ridge line of the mountains, and well, one would assume you have to actually get up on the mountain so to do that. So I don't know, they might do some gentle switchbacks or something though, who knows. We are about to find out though. Well, we've been doing some pretty steady uphill now. So we're definitely starting to head up, so that's good. But check this out. We got some of these cool rock formations that we're getting here. Cool is that? Let me adjust the camera here. Might get a little wobbly for just a second. There we go. Excuse me while I get used to filming on the GoPro. That thing just towers above me. GoPro probably isn't doing it a terrible amount of justice, but it's pretty big. Yeah, I spotted a possible Instagram. I was considering this boulder here with me standing on top, but looking at it, I don't see any good way to frame the shot, so I think we're just going to continue on and try to get some of those views. Further up here we get, more impressive the landscape starts to get. Again, probably not doing it justice with this camera, but it towers over me. Yeah, but this has been pretty relentless uphill for the last little bit. Definitely beats any uphill in the Red River Gorge, that's for sure. But we've been gaining some good elevation for the past half hour or so. So I'm hoping that we're getting pretty close to that Ridge Trail and that we will soon be rewarded for our effort. Some of this uphill, like a bit, might be able to see behind me, is just downright icy and even pretty slippery and really slowing me up. So I think it's definitely time to bust out the trekking poles. I almost didn't bring them on this trip. I'm glad I did. It was a last minute decision. I'm kind of slipping all over the place in some of this elevation. Yeah, still no end in sight for it, but we're getting there, slowly but surely. Here's hoping we survive this It's just downright dangerous, treacherous water crossing. And I think we can do it. It's pretty fast moving. I mean, look at that. Nah, in all seriousness though, so far, with the exception of elevation gain, I mean, pretty easy hike. Trail's still worn in. The snow and ice is making a little bit of a challenge. It's not real deep, but it's so packed down, it's become almost a solid sheet of ice. So, you know, sliding around all over the place. I'm glad I brought these, but yeah, still making it. I think we're getting pretty close to the top. I mean, behind me, you can probably see that we've been getting closer and closer to the top. I just hope that the views up here are worth all this effort. A little bit surprised by the amount of snow, I'm not gonna lie. They must have gotten quite a bit up this way. We got hit with a snowstorm last week. So this area might have been far enough south that it received over a foot. But as you can see, not real deep. Just slowing us down just a little bit, but we're gonna keep trekking on. Further up we get, the deeper the snow gets. I don't know if you can really tell just how far down I'm sinking there. I mean, it's not super deep, but it's just deep enough to be a nuisance. I mean, we're not even done with this 2 miles to the Ridge Trail yet. We've been on a pretty good amount of time now, so yeah, but I think we're getting really, really close. The hills are starting to look smaller and smaller, so I just hope these views are worth it. If not, that's really gonna suck. So this is a little bit of hindsight. Snow baskets for the trekking poles would not have been a bad idea. But unfortunately, they're about 300 miles away, sitting in my dresser. So that's a good place for them. But on a positive note, we're definitely towards the top. Out there you can start to see, it looks like we're gonna get the views. And we're finally at the end of the Sugar Run Trail. As you can see, that's where we came from. Sugar Run Trailhead. It's about 1.7 miles that way. That way is, wow, this GoPro has a really wide lens. Sorry, I get used to this. Is that way, 1.8 miles. So one would assume that way would be the Ridge Trail, and I think I saw a sign up here. At least the snow's not as deep here. I don't know if you could tell in that last clip, but you got to the point that it was at least a foot deep in spots. Here I'd say maybe about 5 to 6 inches deep right now. A lot more than I would have thought, simply because we've had several days over freezing. So it makes me wonder how deep this would have been when they first got the snow. But I see a bunch of signs here. Let's see what we're looking like here. Let's see. So, yeah. Okay, so if we go this way, we're apparently going towards a campground and a picnic area. And then right here, this is what we want. Ridge Trail goes that way. So, guess we're not done with the uphill just yet. Just a little bit more, but getting close. And just a quick first thoughts of having a GoPro here for Silver Out. Biggest complaint, this thing eats through batteries. I'm almost completely through the first battery. I have one more, so it shouldn't be an issue, but definitely going to need to get more for backpacking trips. And I do have a battery pack, I can charge this, but yeah, just plan on using a lot of batteries with this thing. But we're going to keep going. Hopefully we're getting close to some of those views I've been promised. Whew. Uphill, still being relentless. See, I got that ahead of me. Might not look real steep on this, but probably the steepest point I've gotten to so far. Back there, the wind is just killer. I kind of taking shelter under this big rock here, so that the wind noise hopefully isn't too bad. But we're getting close to the top of this mountain finally, and my spirits are starting to be lifted because through the trees, you probably can't see real well right now, but see that it looks like we are indeed going to get some promising views. But yeah, that 2-foot bit of snow back there was a little rough, a little bit of a rough climb. I'm going to indulge on a Cliff Bar. I think I've earned some calories. But I also really want to just quickly mention kind of a quirk I'm noticing with this camera. I'm not sure, maybe it's the cool temperatures or something, but well, just a second ago as I was starting that statement, this camera was saying that the battery is 3/4 full, and now it's back saying I have about 1/4 of the battery life left. I don't know, maybe it just takes a minute for it to get an accurate reading. Anyone familiar with the GoPro Hero 4 Silver, let me know. Not a big deal, just I'm trying to learn the ins and outs of this camera. Like I said, this is the first time out on an actual trip I'm actually using it, so yeah, just got to get used to it. But so far I like it, and so far I'm enjoying the Cumberland Gap, I gotta say, albeit it's been a little bit of a tough climb. But yeah, I'm gonna taking up some calories, and then I'm gonna trudge my way up this thing. But I think once we're up that, we're gonna be extremely close to the summit and be out along those ridges and get some views. So I'm planning on checking back with you in just a little bit. Alright, I think I've teased you guys long enough. Ready for our first real view? Check that out. Pretty nice indeed. Definitely getting windy up here. The temperature up here is a fair bit colder than it was towards the bottom, which is to be expected. We're at a higher elevation. These mountains aren't super tall. I think they're like 2,000-ish feet, so I mean nothing in mountain terms, but still much higher elevation than the valley down below, and so definitely a lot windier and definitely getting colder. Not unbearably cold, I'd say maybe 30 degrees or so, maybe even a touch warmer than that, but it's the wind chill is the main cold. The actual air temperature itself isn't bad at all. But yeah, we're ordered with our first view, and we're not even all the way to the top yet, so I think this is going to be a pretty nice trail indeed. Alright guys, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit scared, because I have found conclusive proof that the chupacabra lives up here. Just to give you a little bit of a size comparison, I mean, that couldn't be anything other than a chupacabra foot. And my phone's going off, because ironically enough, I get a better signal up here in the middle of nowhere than I do in my own backyard, which is in a pretty populated area, so what's up with that, T-Mobile? But I think we're going to have some views up here again very shortly. If you look behind me, you can see we kind of sort of got some views down there at the valley, but they're a little bit obstructed by the trees still. But it looks like right up here, possibly, there might be another opportunity to have a bit of an overlook. So I'll keep the camera on here for a second. Hiking has gotten significantly easier up here, a lot less uphill. So basically, stupid tree branch, we're basically at the top now. I mean, behind me, there's still a little bit towering over me, so we're not like at the tippy top, but that's okay, because hiking has gotten a lot easier. The snow, as you can see, is either non-existent or a lot shallower. You can see behind me there's still some, and looks like I was wrong, no view. This is completely obstructed behind me, so I'll bring you in if we get another view. Battery indicator on this is still being weird. I don't know. I gotta figure that out, but yeah, we're gonna keep on going for a while. I don't know if I mentioned, but I couldn't really find a good way to make this into a loop hike and still make it into a reasonable day hike. I don't want to be out here too terribly long, simply because it took me like 3.5 hours to drive here, which isn't the worst drive ever, but you know, fairly long, and don't want to be out too terribly late, simply because I started this trip, I think I left my house like 4:30 this morning. Yeah, we'll try to get out of here, try to get back to the car, maybe no later than 3 or 4. So it's probably, my point is, I'm rambling here. My point is, probably just going to do an out and back. Just at some random point, I'll probably just deem, okay, it's time to turn around, head back towards the car. Depending on when we get back to the car, I might try to find an area. There's a spot known as Tri-State Peak. So if you don't know, Cumberland Gap National Historic Park is in Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. And if you stand at Tri-State Peak, you're simultaneously standing in both Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee all at the same time. It's kind of cool. My original plan was to start with that and then head up here, but it looked like, from my understanding of the maps I could find of this area aren't great. It looks like that trailhead was off a road that was closed. Not sure why it was closed, but yeah. So I don't know if we'll be able to do that or not. Right now I'm thinking probably not, but anyway, I've rambled on long enough for now. I'm going to keep on heading forward here, and hopefully we'll get some more rewarding views. But yeah, I'm having a pretty good time here. I'm pretty fond of this spot, I gotta say. So far the views would probably be about non-existent, but I mean, you can see back there, views are pretty nice, pretty obstructed by trees, admittedly, so I don't know how great it comes across in video, but it's pretty nice. And spring or summer though, with the leaves, I don't think we would really have much of any views yet. I'm kind of hoping for a really nice clear view, but I don't know, we'll just have to see what happens. I'm going to go on for a little bit longer anyway. I continued on quite a ways further down this ridge trail, to the point that there's no longer any more footprints I'm following, just my own. And it's starting to go back downhill. So you can see the trail goes that way. It's starting to go back down, and it's looking like it's going to go back up for quite some time. And the view has consistently been about the same. That's what we were dealing with. Nice view, I'm not complaining. But I really don't think the view's going to get much nicer than this. It's around 11:30, so I've been going for several hours hiking, and snow depth and spots up here from the wind, it's making snow drifts are deep enough that this hiking is getting exhausting, I gotta say. Not complaining, having a good time, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start to head back towards the car. Just going to go ahead and turn around here. Yeah, probably not going to be a ton of updates on the way back. I might revisit that one over where we were at. The first one, so it was probably the best, I would say. But yeah, I'm going to head back towards the car. Should take a few hours to get there. But yeah, then might start to drive home, might do something else, I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, for now, let's start the long hike back down all the stuff I climbed. That should be fun. But looking forward to it. So this is what I'm talking about with some of these snow drifts. Just to give you an idea of how deep it is here. It's pretty far up on my trekking pole. It's over a foot. It's just the wind up here so high, it's kind of blown it onto these drifts. So when you hit them, you sink down and post hole in it, and it makes for a little bit of an exhausting hike, that's for sure. But it's a good time. Yeah, definitely a little bit more interesting than hiking in summer. I like it, except my feet are getting hopelessly wet and cold, but yeah, what are you going to do about it, right? So I'm walking back down this ridge trail, as you know, making my way back from whence we came. And as I'm going, you know, I'm just kind of fantasizing about the fall, putting on my dry pair of socks and spare shoes that I brought. And it dawns on me that the dry socks and the spare pair of shoes that are supposed to be in the back of my Jeep right now are currently over 300 miles away because I'm an idiot and didn't put them in the car. So yeah, looks like it's gonna be cold, wet feet on the way home. That's all right. Don't think I have too much further to go till we get back to our intersection with that Sugar Creek Trail or whatever it's called. So we might check out another area. So I'll see you guys once we get to that intersection. Or actually, like I said, we might check back in at that overlook again. Appreciate the view for just a moment longer. Made it back to our favorite little overlook on this hike. Nice view. You can hear the wind's definitely picking up. I hope you can hear me. Definitely not a bad view at all. I'm also going to take this as an opportunity to refuel a bit. I'm going to have Snickers. Give me some calories, some chocolate. But yeah, definitely a nice view. We're almost back to that intersection. So I was originally planning on going and checking out Skylight Cave, but the more I think about it, more it seems dumb to climb all the way down there when we can't even go in it. Just have to climb all the way back up. So instead, we're going to continue on that way back to the car, and I think I'm going to start the long, arduous drive home. But yeah, I'll check in with you one more time before I head out of here. Gotta say, it's warmed up quite a bit out here. It's turned out to be quite the nice day. I would guess it's probably about 50 degrees out here right now. Like I say, it's a little bit strange walking through snowdrifts that are a foot or more deep when it's 50 degrees and warm enough for me to be hiking in short sleeves. Not complaining. Kind of an interesting experience. It's turned out to be quite a nice day for sure. One of the nicest days we've had in a couple weeks. So that's good. Making me look forward to spring and summer, though, I gotta say. I don't know how well your view was of how wide this lens is, but there's a little deer that just went running by. She's still standing right there. Definitely a little bit skittish, but not as normal, not as skittish as they normally are. So that was pretty cool. Only wildlife she ran off. Only wildlife encounter I've had on this, including squirrels. Oh no, she's still there. I don't know if you can see her. She's right there. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Nope. That's about the best view we're gonna get of her. That's the one disadvantage to this being so wide, is situations like that probably didn't show up too well, but yeah, that was kind of cool. Elevation changes are starting to even out more, getting a lot easier hiking again. We're pretty much out of the snow, as you can see, except for along the edges of the trail. So take that as meaning that we're getting close to being off this mountain. So yeah, our trip is quickly nearing an end. Well guys, at a point where I see the road up ahead, which means I'm basically at the car, and that means only one thing: our trip is over. Had a good time. Overall, the Cumberland Gap National Park gets a big thumbs up for me. The snow was a little bit unexpected, but even though it made it a lot more challenging, it was a lot of fun. Quite enjoyed it. Decent views. This part I was on would say not so great for photography, though. I didn't even take my camera out of my bag once, so not a successful photo trip, but I had already kind of anticipated that. So yeah, I'm gonna do the last little bit of distance to the car, then I'm going to start a very long drive back home. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.